Good Saturday morning, South Florida. I'm Karli Barnett. Thank you for joining us. It is now 6 o'clock, and here's what we're working on. Twisters in Tampa, people barely escaping injury as winds uproot trees, causing major damage and knocking out power to thousands. A deadly shooting inside a Tallahassee yoga studio. This morning, we are learning more about the shooter and the victims. 3 days left now until midterm elections, with early voting ending this weekend. You are running out of time to beat those lines.
This is CBS 4 News This Morning.
It is now 6 o'clock on Saturday, November 3rd. Thank you for joining us. I'm Karli Barnett. On the storm watch this morning, we have some dramatic video out of the Tampa area. A cold front sparks nasty storms. At least 3 tornadoes touched down yesterday afternoon. Take a look at that. We will have more on this story in just a few minutes, but first we're going to send it over to our meteorologist, Jennifer Correa, with a look at our forecast here at home. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning, Karli. So those tornadoes and severe thunderstorms that did spark up had to do with the cold front that is approaching South Florida, but not passing through. Now, so far for us, it's quiet on the radar compared to overnight, where there were some heavy downpours out there. Most of the heavy rainfall and the severe threat has already dwindled down. Today, we can still get a few more showers, but we don't expect that severe threat across Florida. Now, temperatures are on the mild side, except for Oakland Park is actually at 70 degrees, which is not too bad there. Temperatures still dropping as the ground is saturated. And of course, all that rain in the ground, all that water is evaporating, helping to cool things down. Now, the winds are going to be variable because the front is slowing down and beginning to stall. It's also expected to stay light out there as far as those wind speeds. There is the front. It has entered over parts of Lake Okeechobee, but it is pushing on the brakes. So eventually this is going to stall. That's going to provide for the chance for a shower thunderstorm later on today. I'll explain more about the rest of our weekend forecast coming up.
Thank you, Jennifer. Now back to that frightening situation in the Tampa area. Severe storms, including multiple tornadoes, tore through the region, causing damage and leaving tens of thousands without power. CBS 4 anchor Rutabe Shabazi has more.
Cell phone video captured the late afternoon tornado as it ripped through Seminole, Florida. Holy sugar! This morning.
Well, nearly 60,000 people were without power at one point yesterday, and at last check, around 2,000 customers still without power. Now we have some new details this morning after 2 people were killed, several others hurt during a shooting at a yoga studio in Tallahassee. Police there identifying the gunman as 40-year-old Scott Beerley. Mayor Andrew Gillum was in South Florida when he heard the news of that shooting.
This evening, when I got the news about the shooting, I happened to be in South Florida attending Shabbat ceremony inside of a Jewish synagogue the same week that we saw 11 lives lost in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And again, it just reminds us that these occurrences are far too frequent.
Mayor Gillum also said the community is now safe and he is completely behind law enforcement and the work they have to do. The 2 people killed are 21-year-old Mara Binkley and 61-year-old Nancy Van Vessem. CBS 4's Chris Martinez reports. Campaign 2018, Gillum was joined in Miami by former President Barack Obama, who endorsed Gillum, Senator Bill Nelson, as well as other Democrats, as he lashed out against Republicans. CBS 4 anchor Elliot Rodriguez has more details.
CBS 4 This Morning.
Meanwhile, Republican nominee Ron DeSantis worked his way north. Here's some of what he had to say to supporters in Tampa.
I'm happy to be running hard down this home stretch. We need to punch this thing into the end zone. We need to come through with a big victory on Tuesday. I think Florida's future depends on it. I'm the only candidate running who has actually served our country in uniform, serving in Iraq. I'm the only candidate running who will not raise taxes in Florida. And I'm the only candidate running who can credibly say I'm not being investigated by the FBI for corruption.
DeSantis also made several campaign stops along Florida's west coast. Remember, early voting is going at a record-breaking pace in South Florida. Whether they are voting for someone or against someone, voters are turning out in big numbers. CBS 4's Hank Tester reports.
Early voters out.
Welcome back. President Donald Trump continues to hit the campaign trail for GOP candidates. He's got a busy schedule this weekend as we are just 3 days away from the midterm elections. CBS 4's Nicole Killian has more from the White House.
Expected to hold 7 more rallies between now and Election Day. Nicole Killian.
Now in some other news from the White House this morning, the Trump administration is reimposing all U.S. sanctions on Iran, which had been lifted under the 2015 nuclear deal. The sanctions cover Iran's shipping, financial, and energy sectors. They are the second batch of measures reimposed on the country since President Trump withdrew from the deal back in May. The sanctions take effect on Monday. They penalize countries that do not stop importing Iranian oil. Now at 6 o'clock, take a look at this scary scene on I-75. A minivan burst into flames last night. This happened just north of Bonaventure Boulevard in Weston. The driver got out, then he went back in to get something. Well, thankfully, he made it back out okay. Some Good Samaritans came running with fire extinguishers, but that did not help put out the flames. The fire was so hot. Our photographer, Akeem Brunson, says he could actually feel the heat from across the road. By the time firefighters arrived, the van was fully engulfed, and again, nobody was hurt. The FBI confirms another explosive device similar to those sent by accused mail bomber Cesar Sayoc was found in California. It was addressed to Democratic donor Tom Steyer. This coming as Sayoc appeared in Miami federal court yesterday. His attorneys canceled a scheduled bond hearing and agreed not to challenge his transfer to New York. Prosecutors say Sayoc sent at least 15 devices, and he had a hit list with the names of more than 100 people.
As these things come dribbling in, we felt it more appropriate for the lawyers that are going to represent him in the long run to make the analysis and determination and decide what they want to do.
Well, U.S. Marshals are now free to transfer Sayoc to New York for trial. Well, Jennifer, you were saying it's not exactly going to be an ideal Saturday forecast. Maybe a little bit of a soggy Saturday today.
Yes, a little bit on the soggy side. Not as heavy as what happened last night. We're not expecting widespread rainfall, but we're expecting the cloud cover and a few showers here and there. The reason being is because there is a cold front approaching, but it's going to push on the brakes and stop over us. First, let's talk.
Welcome back. Time for another edition of Taste of the Town. This morning, CBS 4's Lisa Petrillo is taking you to this traditional yet modern style Italian eatery that is quickly becoming the new It spot in Wynwood.
Yum, this pizza.
I think I have a new place to try. Sette Osteria is located at 2103 Northwest 2nd Avenue in Wynwood. CBS 4 this Saturday is coming up. Anthony Mason and Diana Jacobson join us live in the CBS This Morning studio in New York City. What are you all working on for today's show?
Hey, Carly, thanks for making us really hungry early in the morning. That sounded so good. Coming up, we'll have all this morning's headlines.
Plus, what will life be like on Mars when humans live on the red planet? That's the question that's posed in the National Geographic Channel series Mars. Producer and Oscar-winning director Ron Howard is here giving us a preview of the new season.
And we'll take you to Singapore, where street food is one of the city's main attractions. But with many of the vendors aging, their traditions and recipes are in danger of being lost. What's being done to preserve the taste of the city?
We're hungry again. All of that, plus your eye-opener, the dish, and music in our Saturday session. It's just ahead on CBS This Morning Saturday.
Anthony and Dana, thank you both. CBS This Saturday Morning kicks off at 7 a.m. right here on CBS 4. Well, still ahead, synagogues across the country asked people to show up for Shabbat in response to the Pittsburgh shooting. CBS 4's Carrie Codd takes you to some ceremonies here in South Florida. Family and police looking for anything that could lead them to the person who killed a security guard inside of Miami Gardens Park. And in Florida politics, a candidate facing charges this morning for buying and selling cocaine. CBS 4 this Saturday morning. We'll be right back.
This is CBS 4 News This Morning.
Good Saturday morning, South Florida. I'm Karli Barnett, and thank you for joining us. It is now 6:30. Here is what we are working on right now. Show up for Shabbat. Synagogues across the country ask people to come together after the deadly shooting in Pittsburgh. And killed in a park. A man gunned down just feet away from where children play. This morning, the search is on for his missing car and his killer. And cocaine candidate? A man running for Miami City Commissioner busted for buying and selling drugs. This isn't his first attempt at office or his first drug offense. But first, we are going to send it to our meteorologist, Jennifer Correa. She has a look at our forecast today. Some showers, unfortunately, Jennifer.
Yes, unfortunately. The good news, though, it's not going to be widespread because we could expect more rain through the weekend.
Thank you, Jennifer. Now, on to the latest in the deadly synagogue shooting. It's the first Shabbat in Philadelphia since a deadly shooting at a synagogue in Pittsburgh took the lives of 11 people. Now the Jewish community and others are coming together in solidarity. Synagogues across the country asked their congregations to show up for Shabbat. They wanted lots of people to send a message of unity and strength following the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting. CBS 4's Carrie Codd has more.
From Weston, CBS 4 this morning.
Now at 6:30, family members and Miami Gardens police are looking for the person who gunned down a security guard in a city park. The body of 50-year-old Kevin Willis was found by a jogger in Scott Park yesterday morning. Police say Willis was shot in the head. His car, a 2007 silver Chrysler 300, appears to have been stolen. Family members say Willis, who owned Traveling Angel Security Academy of Miami, left home around midnight. It's not clear what he was doing in the park. Now, if you know anything about this crime, you are asked to call police. Dozens of tenants at a Tivoli apartment complex in Deerfield Beach found their tires slashed Friday morning. Broward Sheriff's Office deputies say as many as 70 cars were hit. In some cases, all 4 tires were sliced, apparently with a knife, at the complex, which is just off Southwest 10th Street. One victim tells us she had just gotten 4 new tires.
I just got up this morning to go to work, and when I look, I see my car flat. I have a flat tire in my car. And after that, when I'm looking over there, I say, all day I have a flat tire. I say, oh my God.
Never what you want to wake up to. No word on whether surveillance video captured any of the vandals at work. So far, nobody has been caught. Well, even by the standards of local politics here, this is a surprising story. A man running for Sweetwater Commissioner has been arrested on cocaine charges. CBS 4's Amber Diaz has this story.
Morning.
Now in news across America, investigators believe 2 sisters from Saudi Arabia found dead along the banks of the Hudson River may have killed themselves. 16-year-old Tala and 23-year-old Rotana Faria washed up on shore last Wednesday, bound together with duct tape. Police say it appears they were alive when they went into the water. Sources told detectives the sisters once said they would rather hurt themselves than return to Saudi Arabia. Their deaths are still under investigation. Now in other news this morning, actor Alec Baldwin was placed under arrest after allegedly punching a man in a fight over a parking spot. This happened yesterday outside of the actor's New York City apartment. Officers say a 49-year-old man was taken to the hospital with an injury to his jaw. Baldwin was booked on assault and harassment charges. Still ahead on CBS 4 this Saturday morning, do you check your child's Halloween candy? A reason to actually go through and look for any opened wrappers or tampered wrappers after disturbing discoveries were made in candy received while trick-or-treating. The Captain is Ocean Drive's latest cover story. Coming up after the break, Lisa Petrollo's exclusive look inside the magazine photo shoot. Now on to a CBS 4 News health alert. Parents, you want to listen up. It's something we've been told to do, but are most parents really taking the time to check through their child's Halloween candy? Well, so far there have been not 1, but 2 cases of needles found shoved into candy. A Snickers bar in Kentucky and a gummy Lifesaver in Tennessee. But that's not even the worst of it. In Oregon, a parent got sick after eating a Sour Patch Kid that was laced with meth. Detectives say with all of the houses kids go to on Halloween night, it's almost impossible to track down exactly who contaminated the treats, but here's some good advice on what to look for.
There's too much air, too little air, it's dried out, it's hard, there's something that just doesn't seem right about it.
Well, that family has thrown away all of their Halloween candy, and if you suspect any of your child's candy was tampered with, you should report it to police immediately. Very scary situation there. You shouldn't have to worry about that on Halloween. All right, looking at our forecast today, a couple showers, but nothing too out of hand for today.
No, definitely yesterday was the big day with the severe threat in parts of West Coast Florida and Central Florida. And even overnight, we had some heavy downpours, but
I saw that when I woke up this morning.
Yes, so today, not so much rain, but there's still the chance for showers. So let's talk about first the currents, because we're starting off a bit mild for the Keys, near normal though for Miami-Dade.
Thank you, Jennifer. Now on to a CBS 4 News exclusive. Baseball legend and new father, Derek Jeter, takes over Ocean Drive magazine this month to discuss moving to Miami as co-owner and CEO of the Marlins. He shot the cover for the magazine recently at Marlins Park, and that is where CBS 4's Lisa Petrillo caught up with him. She's been busy for this exclusive behind-the-scenes look and talk about life, both past and present. Now to an all-new Heroes Among Us. Every week in partnership with the Florida Panthers, we put the spotlight on a man or a woman who has gone beyond the call of duty for our country. This morning, CBS 4 anchor Maribel Rodriguez introduces us to a Korean War veteran who helped save hundreds of lives.
Martin Leiser served in the United States Army from 1952 to 1954. We would like to say thank you, Sergeant Martin Leiser, for your service. Maribel Rodriguez, CBS 4 News.
And a big thank you to all of our veterans. CBS 4 this Saturday morning is coming right back. But first, we have your winning lottery numbers. Good luck, everybody. Jennifer has another look at our forecast. I would like to point out we did not plan these University of Miami colors this morning.
But big game tonight. It's homecoming game, and Miami beat Duke. I'll have that forecast just a second, but what I want to show you is that cold front is still to the north of us. We fall back tomorrow, so don't forget about that either. By the way, it's going to be drier for elections.
Wonderful. So no excuse not to go out and vote, right?
Exactly.
Well, that does it for CBS 4 this Saturday morning. We thank you very much for joining us. Up next is CBS 4 this Saturday. We'll be back in another 25 minutes with a live news update. Have a great day, everybody.